thing in a minute, but I'm gonna live stream it as well. Only because I haven't live streamed anything for ages on Facebook. But you can't do it to Instagram.
My connection actually keeps dropping out.
I would just turn the video off then. Once we're live streaming, I'll get in and I'll keep monitoring it. I'll just see how it goes. I'll give it a few more minutes.
It's my internet connection. I'm connected to the wrong router.
We had this problem before, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff all over the bed. Oh my God. Let me tidy up if you're putting on.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Tidy up. Oh, here we go. Carmen's here. Fantastic. Carmen's just connecting her audio. Right, let me go back to here. I don't know if that's working or not. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh, there we go. Right. So I think we're live on Facebook.
Yeah, I've got a little sign saying we're live.
Okay, thank you. Oh, where's Carmen? Carmen's disappeared now. Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to start anyway. So just for everybody who might be watching this on Facebook, the reason why I am live streaming this now on Facebook is because for some reason people can't connect. But we've got a few people here and that's fine. That's like the people who need to be here are here, right? And that's what's important. So I want to start with the story. So on the 13th, in a couple of weeks, I'm starting my my next 5-week empowerment course called Stepping Out of the Valley. And I came up with this program. It is the third time I've run it now. And it was after speaking to a lady called Lisa Nichols. Anybody on the call heard of Lisa Nichols?
No.
Anybody heard of the film The Secret?
I've just ordered the book.
Okay, so the book by Rhonda Byrne, The Secret, was made into a film by an Australian lady who I can't remember. And anyway, one of the people that was on that, or two of the people actually that were in there, was a lady called Lisa Nichols, who was one of my mentors. And also there was a guy called Jack Canfield. Two people that are like hugely massive in the transformation space and manifesting and all the rest of it. Anyway, Lisa told this story that, go and Google her actual story. But she told this story that after she'd kind of not made it, but she'd been on Dr. Phil and she'd been on some of the stuff in America, and she was at an event, and she's just an amazing speaker. And after the event, she had the longest queue of all the speakers that were there. And Jack Canfield at the time was her mentor. Anyway, all these people came up, Lisa, you're amazing. That was fantastic. But nobody signed up to her program. And she was shocked. So she went to Jack Canfield and said, I don't get it. People loved me, but then you've got pretty much everybody signed up to your program. They didn't sign up to my program. Why is that? And he said quite simply that you go into the valley when people are in that really deep, dark space, and you go into that valley and you make them feel better, but you don't show them the way out. Right? So if you take that, if I talk a little bit about my story back in 2018, when I was a serving police officer and I ended up wanting to kill myself, that was a little bit like where I was. And I don't know about anybody on this call, but if there's anybody watching us on Facebook, please comment, because we find that when we get in that deep, dark place, it's very difficult to get out of it, right? People are going, oh, everything will be better. We'll give you a hug. And that sympathy's, it's a disconnector. It's not a connector. It's not empowering you to get out of that space, right? So Lisa told this story and I thought, oh my God, yeah, that's it. Actually, what you need is a guide to get you out of the valley. You need to know how to get out of the valley. The challenge there is that how many people online are going, I've got the answer. I've got the program. Come and join me on this program and I'll give you. And it's all bullshit, because, and this is the reason why, is every answer that you need is already inside you. What you need is to know how to extract the answer. So if I go back to 2018, so imagine this, 2018, I'm having a breakdown, but I'm really trying to hold it in. I don't want to show this weakness. I've asked for help previously. Nothing's happened. I'm pissed off. I'm angry, and I'm in Rimini in Italy, where I've just come back from. Just not enjoying it. Panic attacks. Just generally miserable. Trying to enjoy this beautiful place, but just generally miserable. When I came back from that holiday, I went back into work. That's when I broke. That's when I got sectioned. That's when I got put in, and I started this journey. So fast forward 4 years, we've had COVID, not been back there. It's been a bit crap. So this was our first family holiday abroad. And for the first few weeks, I started panic attacks. Now, a lot of people will say to me that you're a therapist, you're a coach. Don't tell people that. They won't think you know what you're doing, right? But I think it's really important. I think it's really important because the difference between 2018 and last week was that I now know why these things happen. So I'm going to ask you, Angela, I'm going to ask you a question. If you were feeling hungry, how would you know?
I don't know. My stomach would rumble. Not that it ever
would rumble, right? You'd feel it. You go, I'm hungry, right?
Yeah.
If you were thirsty, how would you know? You'd probably have a dry mouth. I need to go and have a drink, right? But when it comes to those, what we call negative feelings, anxiety, pain, whatever it is, we suppress those. We don't listen to them. And actually, those feelings is our inner soul, our inner spirit. It's our higher self trying to communicate with us. But this is the problem. When it comes to anything around mental health, when it comes to mindset, whatever you want to call it, we work logically, but we're not logical beings. We're emotional beings that sometimes use logic. And when we're in that fight or flight stage, when something's happening and we're going, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why I feel the way that I do. And you go to the doctors, they'll go, oh, you've got, panic attacks. You're feeling nauseous. Your mind's going all over. You've got anxiety. And then we have a construct of what anxiety is. Oh, I'm not normal. I'm not right. Oh, it's okay to have anxiety, da, 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 da. In fact, it's not that. It's your soul. It's your spirit. It's saying you stopped growing. This isn't who you are. You've been planted in the wrong soil, And so, but your emotions can't speak language. And this is why I've got nothing against talking therapies or anything like that. But one of the challenges with talking therapies is that we're trying to communicate with part of our body using the wrong tool. Okay, so this is why often when people struggle, they go, well, logically, it makes sense, right? Logically, it makes sense that my life should be great. I've got a job, I've got family, but why do I feel shit? Why do I feel this way? Okay, and the why sits within the subconscious, so we're not aware of it. And that all of those thoughts, those feelings, everything that we believe about ourselves are not us. When we're born perfect. We haven't been programmed yet. And it's between the age of 0 and 8 that we get programmed. And about 80% of who we are is already programmed into us by the time we're 8. And if you think about what success looks like in the world as a human, in the world, certainly in the Western world, it goes something like this. Let's say you're born into a nice family. Between the age of 0 and 4, you play, you have fun, and then you go to school, then you have to conform in school, and then you have to go and do your GCSEs, and then maybe college and university to get a good job, so that when you get a good job, you'll have money to be able to put away for a pension, so that when you're 70, you can live again. And we call that success. Doesn't sound very successful to me that we spend like most 80% of our life in pain doing something we don't like. Like 70% of people in the world hate their jobs. Why is that? Well, I believe it's because to be vulnerable, to be our authentic self is tough. So stepping out of the valley has kind of 5 tenets to it. And the first one is the most important one, which is fear. And fear can be broken down into these tenets: judgment and being judged. With social media now, everybody's being judged, right? And it takes something to step into that fear and be who you are. You know, this is why I love Kerry, because Kerry turns up and she does what she does. And when you've got that fear in there, it stops you. And the reason why it stops you is because the mind's there to keep you alive, not happy. Simple as that. It doesn't know what happiness is. It's there to keep you alive. The second thing is it connects to what is familiar. So if you've grown up in an environment that might be toxic, or it might be this, or it might be that, then that's familiar. It doesn't know right or wrong. Yeah. So it connects to what is familiar. It's there to keep you alive. And the other thing is it hates change. It hates change. Oh, we got somebody on the call. Who's there?
You're in my glasses. I just need glasses.
Okay. So if you take that fear aspect of it, we've got all of that judgment. And then because we're trying to fit in and we want to be connected, because that's part of our survival, if we follow our heart's desire, then we get shame and guilt. And then we've got shame, guilt, and judgment. And then the next part of fear is validation. So if you do want to do something different, or you do want to show up in the world, you have to try and validate who you are to fit in. And you're trying to validate yourself to people who probably don't give a shit about you anyway, right? So if we just take that first step of stepping into fear, we've got to break through the judgment. We've got to break through the shame. We've got to break through the guilt. We've got to break through the validation. I'm already tired, and we haven't even got to the next bit. The next bit is A. So the first F of the facts of abundance is fear. We've got to break through the fear. Then we've got to break through and take action. Well, action is difficult, right? Because even today we had quite a few people for this masterclass tonight, and there's 2 people here. And I'm glad you're here. It's amazing. At least I'm not speaking to myself. And obviously we've got people on Facebook now, hopefully, so you'll be able to put some comments in. So anybody wants to comment, just put, what are your fears and what's stopping you taking action? Okay, and going through that. And normally it's because we don't believe we have a choice. So the third C of the C in facts is choice. But actually we are choosing. So one of the biggest things that people say is, I'd love to get help, but I can't afford it. I can afford Netflix. I can afford my top of the range iPhone. I can afford to drink a bottle of wine every night. I can afford to have a really flash car. I can afford to spend my way out of by going shopping, right? I can afford to do that, but I'm not going to spend money on the one thing that drives all of that, which is my mind and my heart. Okay, so it's weird, isn't it? But the reason for that is that we believe that we only have certain choices. We believe that we can only go and talk to somebody. You know, success within mental health, read it on the NHS website. Cope and manage. CBT helps you cope and manage. Psychotherapy helps you cope and manage. If you had a broken leg and you went into the doctors and you said, "Doctor, I've broken my leg," and they went, "Oh, well, best thing to do is if you walk on the other leg and then come back every week, we'll have a chat about how that's going." Pretty much most doctors would get disbarred, right? But most people's experience, my clients' experience, when anxiety gets that bad, is that they go to the doctor gives them some drugs. 100% of the time, most of my clients, when I ask them this, they don't tell them what the side effects are, and they don't know the reason why they're giving them the drugs. And that's not the GP's fault. It's not the GP's fault, because they only have a certain amount of time. Our whole health system is set up for physical health, not mental health. So it's no surprise that people don't go to the next one, which is trust. So the T in facts is trust, because we look outwardly for the answers. Okay, so we're looking, what is the magic pill? What is the magic potion? What is the thing that I need? Well, the thing is, the trust has to be in here, right? It's that gut instinct. And that's what I'm going to take you through in a second. I'm going to show you how you can connect to your higher power. Because once you can break through the fear, once you take that first action and you choose, right, enough is enough, nobody's going to save me, I've got to do something, you can then trust yourself, not anybody else, to step forward. But then it goes in that cycle. Who can I trust? Judgment, shame, fear. But the beauty of what I do, and the reason why I love what I do, is that there is no pressure on me. Because all I am doing is I'm opening the vault to your subconscious mind. I'm guiding you. I'm literally your guide on a journey that we go together. And stepping out of the valley was born really from connection. And what I found with the cohorts that I've done before with this, which was that when people went on that journey for 5 weeks on their own, will there be a replay available? I'm putting it on Facebook, Susanna. So hopefully it will be on Facebook and it'll be a post on Facebook. So yes, there should be a replay, and then I'll probably have to stick it on Instagram afterwards. But yeah, as long as Angela stays with me and I'm not talking to myself, I'll be fine. But if you need to go, Susanna, go. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so it's really difficult. So you can understand that cycle that people are in, right? So going back to last week, I had all this stuff going on in my head, and I was like, what's going on? I don't understand it. I've done all the work. Now, I did the week before do my Reiki Masters. And when I did my Reiki Masters, that opens up so much crap, right? Whenever you do this in a work, the process goes like this. You find the root cause to why you feel the way you do. That's number one, right? So, oh my God, that's the reason why it is. I release all that fear. I release all of that doubt. I know who I am now. But then the universe will come and test you to make sure that you have learned the lessons. And I always tell my clients this when I work with them, is that when you open yourself up to receiving and you get rid of all that crap, before you can bring that abundance in, it's always going to test you. And a lot of people that look into coaching, they look into therapy, what they're looking for is to move from the darkness to the light, right? Because that's what we're told. I want to be in the good place. But the truth and the light is not away from the darkness, it's through it, right? You can only get to it through it. This is just an illusion over here. And that's why we spend so much time spending money on hair, makeup, beauty, and we still feel shit. We might have amazing Instagram photographs, right? Our Instagram reel might be absolutely awesome, but inside we're still seeking validation. Somebody puts a nasty comment on, I feel judged. And this is what happened last week. So a couple of good friends of mine, and I'm not going to mention them, but I know that they work in the kind of complementary therapy space, so they won't mind me mentioning this. But I was taking photographs and putting them on Instagram, right? Now, I feel uncomfortable doing things like this, right? I feel uncomfortable about sharing photographs on Instagram. I do it because it's uncomfortable, right? Making the unfamiliar familiar. That's why I do it. But they posted saying, get off social media, go and have some time away. And although I knew they meant it for the right reasons, I went into a massive shame storm, guilt. It was just, how dare you? This is my holiday. This is what I want to do. And I was having like 2 conversations going, well, I know that they don't mean anything by that. But how dare they do this? My ego was coming up and all the rest of it. And then I started to have these panic attacks and all of this stuff started to come up. And I was feeling angry. And I was spending so much time just, if I was in the hotel room, like, to my wife, I just need to go to the loo because I was about to have a panic attack. I'd be on the beach or I'd be out somewhere. And I just have to stop and breathe. And I was going, breathe, breathe, breathe. What's going on? Lean into it. I've done this enough times now that all I kept saying was, what is the lesson? What are you trying to teach me? What is it that I need to know right now? What I know is the more you do this work and the deeper that you go, this is why I have my own coach. That's what I sneezed. So this is why I have my own coach, because it's really important that you have support, right? And it's really difficult sometimes to speak to friends and family. It's very difficult. You know, we shouldn't be dumping on our friends. We shouldn't be dumping on our family when we've got to do this deep work and do this understanding. So the conclusion that I came from that was, oh, I get it now. I was in this place 4 years ago. I was in this shitstorm of shame, the shitstorm of judgment, the shitstorm of everything else that was happening to me. And I didn't know what to do. And I got back home, went to work and broke down. I now know it was a breakthrough. And after landing back in the UK, there's been a lot of things. I've been journaling, I've been meditating on it. And it was like, oh, the universe was just testing me. It was taking me back to that place to see, how are you going to get through this? Can you allow it? Can you release it? So this is what I want to do now. Is I want to take you through something called Breath of Fire. Now, because I'm recording this, you can do this afterwards. But this was something that I was taught by my mentor at the moment, Ajit, who is the head of EverCoach at Mind Valley. So at the present moment, I'm working with EverCoach and Mind Valley on a thing called the CLO program. And Ajit took us through this. It's called Breath of Fire. And the amazing Jay Shetty tells this story about when he first went into the ashram. So if people don't know who Jay Shetty is, he's very famous kind of philosopher, I guess, who went and became a monk. And his first day of monk school, there was a 10-year-old teaching a 4-year-old. So Jay Shetty goes up to him, and he's a man, right? So he goes, what's the first day of monk school? What do we learn? And this 10-year-old said, the first thing we learn is the breath. And Jay Shetty's like, well, I learned maths, I learned English at school. Explain. So this 10-year-old monk said, the first thing we do when we are born is to breathe. The last thing we do before we die is to stop breathing. Master the breath, master life. So I use breath work in some of the stuff to help my clients, box breathing, just meditation. But Breath of Fire is really interesting because what it does, it's a little bit odd, but you breathe in and out through your nose and your mouth. So you go. And what it does is it shuts off your critical brain. So this meditation that I'm going to take you through now, what it does is it shuts that part of your brain off and activates your pineal gland, so your third eye, which allows you to connect to your higher self. It bypasses that chattering voice. So I thought there'd be more people on this. But what I've done is if you go to steppingoutofthevalley.com, I've already put this on there as a free download. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually play the track that I've already pre-recorded. And there's a reason why. The reason why is, originally the reason why was because I wanted to make sure that I could monitor everybody who was on the call to make sure they were okay as we did it. So I'm not going to change it. I'm still going to do it. So I'll turn my camera off in a minute, and we'll go through that Breath of Fire. Now, and if you want to turn your camera off, please feel free to do that. I'm going to guide you through it. It's quite a nice, relaxing experience. So anybody who's watching this on Facebook, you'll be able to do this now. Just make sure that you're not driving, you're not operating any heavy machinery, you're not doing anything where you're going to die. Okay, preferably you'll be on a sofa undisturbed. That's just my legal bit out of the way now, so nobody.
I'm on the floor.
Yeah, and I'm going to play this. So anybody who's watching this on catch up, sounds like iPlayer, doesn't it? Right, like on catch up, you can do this again. So if you are doing this, pop your comments in on Facebook. Tell me how you got on. Tell me what came up. But what I want you to do is, before we start this, I want you to think of a question. Okay, so bring to mind a fear bring to mind a reason why you might not be able to achieve something. And then what we're going to do is, as I guide you through this process, I want you to listen to that voice inside your head. And sometimes this can be quite emotional. And it often helps if you've got a piece of paper and you can write down afterwards, or stuff will come up over the next couple of days. So put some comments in. If you're watching this on Facebook after you've done it, if you're watching it on replay, just tag me in and then just tell me what's going on. Tell me what came up. And this is one of the tools that we use on the Stepping Out of the Valley course, or it will be, because that whole 5-week program that I'm going to be taking people through, and you can find out more at steppingoutofthevalley.com. There's a full prospectus. So there's an online course that takes you over through this stuff as well. But I do coaching. We do coaching, and I take you through all of these experiences, and we go on this journey together to understand where you're at, how you can start to manifest. And it's amazing some of the things that happen at the end of it. You know, people find new friendships. People just quit their jobs for no reason whatsoever, right? They start to understand who they truly are. And it's taking a lot of the principles that I work with my clients one-on-one. Those really, they're more expensive, right? They're more expensive courses. They're one-to-one. They're very in-depth. But I've created this program to make it available to everybody. But the beauty of it is we go through it as a tribe. We go through it together. And we have a WhatsApp group. So it's not as though every Sunday you turn up and then you're on your own. We keep connected throughout the week. We see what's going to come up. So you're fully supported through it. So if you're interested, steppingoutofthevalley.com, go there. And there are some freebies on there for you if you want them. So are you ready? We're going to go through this now.
How do I turn the camera off?
If you go to stop video at the bottom, are you on your mobile?
Yeah.
You might have to touch the screen, then it comes up. I don't think I can do it for you.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, you turn. Oh, there you go. 2 seconds. I'm going to click that. There you go.
Oh.
I've done it for you. I have the power. See, I'm powerful.
Thank you. So can you hear me though?
I can hear you.
Do you need to hear me? What if I start crying or something?
I'll start snoring, even worse. So what I'll do, let me mute you. I'll mute you. So you're muted. Angela, I cannot hear you now. Although you have a beautiful voice and I want to speak to you. I can't hear you. Well, actually, Angela, what I will do, I've just asked you to unmute. So if you can unmute, because of the technical issues that we've had today, or give me a thumbs up, or just make sure that everything's okay. I'm gonna share my screen and put this audio on. Now, hopefully it should work. So I'm just going to share that now. So don't worry, there's nothing on the screen. So what I want you to do now is we're going to go through this meditation. We're going to go through this experience now. And I'm going to mute myself in a second. But I'm going to play this, and fingers crossed it's going to work. Fingers crossed it's going to work. So I'm going to play this now, and just listen to my voice on this audio, and it'll guide you through. It's about 24 minutes. And just follow the instructions and everything that I am saying.
The fire. When you want to access infinite wisdom, when you want to seek the answers that you require, it's important to put yourself in an elevated state. In this recording, I'm going to take you through 3 sets of breath of fire. This is a simple, rhythmic breathing exercise where we inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Before you listen to this recording, make sure that you're in a safe, comfortable place. Each of these sets in between will have a 30-second pause, where we will keep our palms facing upwards and feeling the sensations and energy through our body. During this exercise, you may feel some discomfort. You may feel a tingling in your body. As we experience what we experience, you'll start to gain more clarity. Think of the questions that you might want to ask your higher self to get that guidance. So now find a comfortable place where you'll be free and undisturbed. And let us begin. I want you to start by just closing your eyes down. And just be aware of your breath, be aware of your body. And as you do that, just take a deep breath in and breathe out. Take another deep breath in. Breathe out. Just take another deep breath in. Breathe out. And this time just breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. And now we're going to go through a round of very quick breathing. About 30 breaths just in and out. And if you need to move your body whilst doing this, that's perfectly fine. So just listen to my breath. And I'll count the first ones in. So I'll demonstrate now. Just listen. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And this is the pattern that we're going to use. A quick breath in and a quick breath out. So I'm going to count these 30 breaths with you. So I want you to breathe in when I say breathe in. Breathe out when I say breathe out. Just make yourself comfortable. And we'll begin. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in,
As you focus on my
breathe out.
voice, breathing.
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in,
As I start to
breathe
talk,
out.
your
Breathe in,
subconscious
breathe out. Breathe in,
mind, you're starting to elevate
breathe out. Breathe
to a
in,
higher plane.
breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in,
Consciousness.
breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Accessing
Breathe in, breathe out.
parts
Breathe
of the
in,
mind.
breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Focus on the
Breathe in, breathe out. 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 Now bring your breath back to a natural pause. And as your breath settles, I want you to express and experience gratitude towards yourself for your being, to someone you love,
Thank you.
appreciate, or connect with.
I love you.
Extending it further
I'm sorry.
out to the world, to infinite consciousness,
Please forgive me.
for being here to support you.
Thank you.
With this gratitude, now focus on your heart.
I'm sorry.
Experience love
Please forgive me.
and a light transmitting from your heart. This is your love and compassion. See your love and compassion expanding and transmitting from your heart for yourself,
Thank you.
for your surroundings,
I love you.
for the city that you're in, for the country, for the continent,
Please forgive me.
for the earth, for our galaxy, and for the infinite universe. As this love energy expands and envelopes the universe, you realize that, like the universe, you possess infinite love within you. This love is your connection to the source. As you are connected, see yourself, feel yourself in the metaphysical plane. This is the universe. This is where love hangs out. Welcome to this place. And as you focus on your breath and set into this metaphysical plane, you'll find there is maybe an entity walking towards you, a voice that's behind the critical voice. This is the source of manifestation. It is your guide. It may appear as a person, an animal, or a light. It may be formless, shapeless. But just allow, hear, feel. You just stay in this place now. Share your desires. Ask, what is it I truly desire? What do I seek? Show me my relationships with loved ones. Show me my health. Show me my career. Show me my abundance. Show me how I live, where I live, how my day unfolds. Show me my friends. Show me my guides, teachers, gurus, and leaders. Show me my supporters. Then ask any questions. How would you have me serve one consciousness? How would you have me serve the world? The source may have the answers to all of these questions. A different set of questions, or some of these questions. It's all perfect, just allow it to be, knowing that it will unfold. And if you gain no answer, try reframing your question in the way you would seek guidance, as if asking a friend. And as you continue this conversation, just allow yourself to be here in this moment. And as you do this, as you think these thoughts, they'll be drifting away. And we're going to take another round of this breath of fire. So again, when you're ready, and just be aware of your breath, be aware of your body. And as you do that, just take a deep breath in and breathe out. Take another deep breath in. Breathe out. Just take another deep breath in. Breathe out. And this time just breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. And now we're going to go through a round of very quick breathing. About 30 breaths, just in and out. And if you need to move your body whilst doing this, that's perfectly fine. So just listen to my breath. And I'll count the first ones in. So I'll demonstrate now. Just listen. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And this is the pattern that we're going to use. A quick breath in and a quick breath out. So I'm going to count these 30 breaths with you. So I want you to breathe in when I say breathe in. Breathe out when I say breathe out. Just make yourself comfortable. And we'll begin. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You focus on my voice, breathe out. Breathe in, 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 breathe out. Now bring your breath back to a natural pause. And as your breath settles, I want you to express and experience gratitude towards yourself for your being, to someone you love, appreciate or connect with, extending it further out to the world, to infinite consciousness.
Thank you.
For being here to support you.
I love you.
With this gratitude, now focus on your heart. Experience love and a light transmitting from your heart.
I love you.
This is your love and compassion.
I'm sorry.
See your love and compassion expanding and transmitting from your heart.
Thank you.
For yourself, for your surroundings, for the city that you're in, for the country,
Please forgive me.
for the continent, for the earth, for our galaxy,
I love you.
and for the infinite universe.
I'm sorry.
As this love energy expands and envelopes the universe, you realize that, like the universe,
Thank you.
you possess infinite love within you. This love is your connection to the source. As you are connected, see yourself, feel yourself in the metaphysical plane. This is the universe. This is where love hangs out. Welcome to this place. And as you focus on your breath and set into this metaphysical plane, you'll find there is maybe an entity walking towards you, a voice that's behind the critical voice. This is the source of manifestation. It is your guide. It may appear as a person, an animal, or a light. It may be formless, shapeless. But just allow, hear, feel. You just stay in this place now. Share your desires. Ask, what is it I truly desire? What do I seek? Show me my relationships with loved ones. Show me my health. Show me my career. Show me my abundance. Show me how I live, where I live, how my day unfolds. Show me my friends. Show me my guides, teachers, gurus, and leaders. Show me my supporters. Then ask any questions. How would you have me serve one consciousness? How would you have me serve the world? The source may have the answers to all of these questions, a different set of questions, or some of these questions. It's all perfect, just allow it to be, knowing that it will unfold. And if you gain no answer, try reframing your question in the way you would seek guidance, as if asking a friend. And as you continue this conversation, just allow yourself to be here in this moment. And as you do this, as you think these thoughts, they'll be drifting away. And we're going to go take another round of this breath of fire. So again, when you're ready, and just be aware of your breath, be aware of your body. And as you do that, just take a deep breath in and breathe out. Take another deep breath in Breathe out. Just take another deep breath in. Breathe out. And this time just breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. And now we're going to go through a round of very quick breathing. About 30 breaths just in and out. And if you need to move your body whilst doing this, that's perfectly fine. So just listen to my breath. And I'll count the first ones in. So I'll demonstrate now. Just listen. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And this is the pattern that we're going to use. A quick breath in and a quick breath out. So I'm going to count these 30 breaths with you. So I want you to breathe in when I say breathe in. Breathe out when I say breathe out. Just make yourself comfortable. And we'll begin. Breathe in, breathe out.
So you focus
breathe
on my
in,
voice.
breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
As I start to
breathe
talk
in,
to your subconscious
breathe out.
mind,
Breathe in, breathe out.
start to elevate
Breathe in, breathe out.
to a higher plane.
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in,
Parts of your
breathe
mind
out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in,
Focus on the breath.
breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in,
Focus on
breathe
the
out.
breath.
Breathe in, breathe out. 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 Now bring your breath back to a natural pause. And as your breath settles, I want you to express and experience gratitude towards yourself,
I'm
to your
sorry.
being, to someone you love,
Please forgive me.
appreciate, or connect with, extending it
I
further
love you.
out to the world, to infinite
I'm
consciousness,
sorry.
for being here
Please
to
forgive
support
me.
you. With this gratitude, now focus on your heart.
I love you.
Experience love
I'm sorry.
and a light transmitting from your heart. This is your love and compassion.
I love you.
See your love and compassion expanding and transmitting
sorry.
from your heart, for yourself,
Forgive me.
for your surroundings,
Thank you.
for the city that you're in,
I love
for
you.
the country, for the continent,
I'm sorry.
for the earth,
Please forgive me.
for our galaxy, and for the infinite universe. As this love energy expands and envelopes the universe, you realize that, like the universe, you possess infinite love within you. This love is your connection to the source. As you are connected, see yourself, feel yourself in the metaphysical plane. This is the universe. This is where love hangs out. Welcome to this place. And as you focus on your breath and set into this metaphysical plane, you'll find there is maybe an entity walking towards you, a voice that's behind the critical voice. This is the source of manifestation. It is your guide. It may appear as a person, an animal, or a light. It may be formless, shapeless. But just allow, hear, feel. As you just stay in this place now, share your desires. ask, what is it I truly desire? What do I seek? Show me my relationships with loved ones. Show me my health. Show me my career. Show me my abundance. Show me how I live, where I live, how my day unfolds. Show me my friends. Show me my guides, teachers, gurus, and leaders. Show me my supporters. Then ask any questions. How would you have me serve one consciousness? How would you have me serve the world? The source may have the answers to all of these questions, a different set of questions, or some of these questions. It's all perfect, just allow it to be, knowing that it will unfold. And if you gain no answer, try reframing your question in a way you would seek guidance, as if asking a friend. And as you continue this conversation, just allow yourself to be here in this moment. So just allow yourself to be, to listen. And in a moment, I'm going to count you back from 5 to 1. And you're going to come back to your full awareness, feeling energized, feeling focused. And just pick up your pen and your journal and write what comes up instinctively in your mind. Read back the truths about what you've experienced. Reframe those thoughts with gratitude and love, and reload the infinite wisdom into your conscious mind, knowing it is done.
So, how is everybody? Angela, are you there? Have you come back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, how do I do
Okay, so
Yeah.
how are you feeling? How was that?
Amazing.
Did you
Yeah.
feel I actually one of the reasons I'm gonna admit, one of the reasons why I did that as a recording instead of doing it live was because I actually did it myself. So I'm kind of a little bit
Yeah, a little bit sort of lightheaded.
Does it feel as though your body is expanding out?
I feel a bit like my head. I feel a bit like my head is. My head feels a bit yeah, swollen. Swollen brain. Yeah.
Okay, so what physiologically happens here? So we'll do a bit of science, because that was quite a woo-woo thing, right, that we just did then. And you can do whenever you want.
Like,
And
I don't have a pen either, but there's so much I need to write, but I'll try and remember everything.
So you can do this at any time, because if you go, as I say, if you go to steppingoutofthevalley.com, you can get this as a free download. There's also another meditation there called Stepping Out of the Valley. So there's some freebies on there, so you can just go and get them. And if anybody's watching this on Facebook, if you watch it on replay, it's still going to be there. You can go and get it. It's fine.
A bit like I can't see.
Right. So can you just see that just by going inside and just going through that breath work and just breathing, my energy feels like, so I do Reiki. So at the moment, my aura feels absolutely massive.
My lips feel a bit tingly.
Yeah, right. Because we've got that breath into our body, we've shut down. And as Susanna said, actually, she put on the chat, she said we do this in yoga, and it's a pranic breathing exercise, and it's a way of it seems weird because it's like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. It doesn't seem calming, but what it's actually doing is there's a nerve that runs from the base of your brain down to your colon. Okay, it's called the vagus nerve. In woo-woo terms, this is the line of your chakra points, right? So if we're to look at those chakra points, they actually correlate to this nervous system, this vagus nerve. And as part of our nervous system, we have two parts of our autonomic nervous system, our parasympathetic nervous system, our sympathetic nervous system. And this is what we call our fight or flight response. Okay. So what happens is, if you ever feel anxious, if you ever feel anxiety, sometimes it can feel like a cloud that descends down. And it's like, you can't focus, you can't concentrate, you can't, it's just, this is when panic comes in, right? This is why, when I said about that kind of that panic attack, this is why breathing is so important. And there's different types of breathing that you can do. But what happens is when we breathe like this, the mind can't focus on doing quadratic equations, right? It can't focus on that critical mind. It has to focus on what it's doing. And when we breathe deeply, or we do these breathing exercises, what actually happens is the cortisol that's in our brain, our mind, that shuts down and puts us into that fight or flight mode, gets turned off very quickly. And if we do it within 5 seconds, it takes about 5 seconds before we get hijacked. So if we notice, so as I explained in that story when I saw it last week, is I noticed, oh, this doesn't feel right. Something's wrong here. And what my body is saying is, I need to go inside. I need to find out what's going on. Okay. So doing these breathing exercises shuts that part of the critical mind off, allows you to go inside and just be. Okay. What actually also happens is going into the quantum field and quantum physics, is that when we breathe and we activate this, we actually activates parts of our brain. So there's a part of our brain called the pineal gland. It's also the third eye. So I don't know if you ever get any visualizations kind of when you're looking of like a halo. For me, it's kind of like a green halo with a purple dot. That's when I know my third eye is activated. There's actually a crystal. There's some crystals in your pineal gland. And this is how manifestation happens. Because when we raise our vibration, when we extend that out, and certainly when we do something like that, and then we write things down, we're emptying all the crap out of our body. And when we empty the crap out of our body, what that allows us to do is to say, I'm free to bring the stuff into my life that I need right now. And you start to see these synchronicities happening. And I have this all the time. I was working with one of my coaching clients this week, and I'm not going to mention her name. She's not on this call anyway, but she hadn't worn a dress for 10 years, right? She was feeling really, really lonely. And after doing some of this stuff and working with me, all of a sudden, some old school friends out of the blue connected with her. She then got invited to go out, and for the first time, she went to buy a dress, and she's put a bit of weight on, and she thought she was a certain dress size. When she went to try the dress on, she put this dress up. When she put the dress up and tried it on, it was too big. She actually went down 2 dress sizes. And it was all from going inside. So the answers that you seek. Night, Susanna, I know you said you got to give the kids, you put the kids to bed. Thank you very much for being here. And I'll speak to you soon. So what she was saying was, it was just weird that she went inside, she found this stillness, and she was allowed to get rid of that stuff. Now, what we've just done now is a tiny, less than 1% of what we do on the course, or what I do when you work with me. But I just wanted to give that as a gift to people. And if anybody's on Facebook, I'm just having a look, see if there's anything on Facebook. Nothing on Facebook at the moment. If you're watching this on Facebook, put a comment in. What did you experience? If you're going to do this over the next few weeks, what did you experience? Let me know. Because it's really interesting how when we just allow ourselves to be present, and we allow ourselves just to listen past that critical voice, and we journal it down, there are so many things that can come up. So, Angela, just give me, is there anything that came up? You obviously don't share anything you don't want to share, but.
No, immediately when I first went into meditation, my head wanted to go back like that.
Awesome. Yeah.
So, and I found it really difficult to move it forward. Obviously, I was in that meditation. So I kind of, the first 2 cycles, my head was back, but not on the bed. And by the time I got to the third cycle, I had to then lay down because my head was so heavy. And it was doing this kind of forcing up motion. And then I wish I'd written it all down now. I can't remember the stages.
Right.
The first person that came was actually Jesus.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting that.
Are you religious?
Not particularly. Not. I have been off and on. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But not. That isn't somebody that I necessarily would think was in my mind.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So that happened, and then the second time it was just a light. It was white and with a little bit of gold. The third time, the person that came was actually myself. Is that weird?
Just by yourself. Not weird.
It was actually me. It was actually me, and I was talking to myself. Strange.
So none of that. So let me explain that second one.
But there was lots of other stuff which I'm happy to share. But yeah,
go for it. Share away.
Well, when it said when I was asking what is my purpose, I can't remember what you said now. What is my purpose, or what am I meant to be doing? In my head, that's what I was saying. Because I'm a nurse, but I'm in pale blue. I'm bound for. I was in navy blue in the dress with the nurse's belt. I was doing what you're doing because this is really the way I want to go. The work that you do for other people. I was doing that. I was in an office. I had case notes and I was piling the notes up and carrying them off. And then I was in Africa. I just was in Africa. Amongst a tribe, an African tribe, and I was part of that. That was my tribe, and that's where I was. My family were with me, but that's where I was. Yeah.
So what's really interesting, let me pick up on that. So, as you know, I'm a former police officer, you're a nurse. Okay. We know that the NHS is, forget people wanting mental health services, right? Doctors, nurses, they're screwed, right? People are in a really, really tough place. Just by doing that sort of stuff, can you see how centered, how grounded people might be just doing that exercise? And how if we were to bring more of this sort of stuff into the NHS and be open more to understanding ourselves scientifically, neuroscience, one of the things that I'd love to do, by the way, is I would love to put somebody in a CT scan, get some neuroscientists and do what I do and see how the brain is firing up. I'd love to do some clinical trials. I'd love to do all that, but it's a tough ask, right? Because the NHS is just firefighting all the time. So when somebody like myself comes along and goes, listen, been there, done that, this is where I am. I understand what that is like in that environment. How can I help? It's like, this is exactly what we need, but computer says no.
Yeah.
And this is one of the challenges. And when I train, so RTT, so rapid transformational therapy, which is the thing that I learned from Marissa Peer, which is part of one of the tools that I use, the amount of doctors and nurses that we're now training, but then they want to go and take this back and they have to leave the NHS to be able to do this. So we're losing just amazing, empathetic people.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, I was watching there's a program on iPlayer. I can't, what's her name? Worsley. She does all the history programs. And they did a thing on witches, which was quite interesting because we had Halloween yesterday, right? And what was really interesting, I know a lot of the history behind this, but witches at the time back in the 15th century were what we call doctors and nurses now.
Wow.
So this thing that witches are evil and all the rest of it actually wasn't the same. They were healers. But what happened was that they became so powerful at healing and helping people. They were critical to the communities that the people who wanted to control everything wouldn't allow them. And the church got involved, and the church basically said, we'll look after the metaphysical religion. You just look after the physical health. And if you track the history around the time of the Reformation, when we had all the witch trials and we had the church took over everything, and then they basically split this in part and said, okay, you can look after the physical, we'll look after the metaphysical and the spiritual, and we're still doing that nowadays. we are spiritual beings that are in a physical body. Then they're not separate entities, but we treat them separately.
Yeah.
And this is why one of the biggest challenges that doctors have and the NHS has is because it's set up and focused on physical, not
Yeah.
metaphysical.
Yeah.
So
100%.
we're applying the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
We're applying physical practices. So one of the great things, if you want to have a laugh, okay, if you want to, when you're in work, if you speak to a psychologist or you speak to anybody in mental health or any doctors, okay, ask them this question. It's great because it just screws their head up. When you say, okay, when it comes to mental health and psychosis or anything like that, what is the main reason for that? Okay. And what will they say? It's a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Yeah.
Right. That's what they normally say. And that's why they give you drugs for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Ask this question. That's really interesting. What moves the chemicals?
Right.
Now they'll probably say it's obviously because it's a chemical, biological, electrical thing. So it's actual electrical pulses and stuff like that move it around. But then you go deeper. So okay, so if it's that, what moves that? What moves this? What moves? And it all will come back to energy.
Energy. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is energy.
But I think like you're saying, treating things separately, there's so many patients, there's so many people that need this service that are missing out. I've had this conversation so many times recently for myself that I think I want to do more, and it's money, isn't it? And or putting in, it's putting, really, we should just be, I think I'm doing it anyway with my patients. I think I naturally just, that's my strength, put it that way. I'm more kind of the empathetic kind of social, psychological, that kind of nurse, rather than working with machines. I do work with machines, but I'm much more drawn to that side of it, and I think that's more
it's connection, right? If we feel connected, if we feel loved, if we feel, it's the placebo effect, right? So placebo is Latin, it means the physician within. And it's interesting that when you look at stress, so if a patient feels as though they can trust their doctor, they can trust their nurse, they're going to be more relaxed, right? If they're in a high state of stress, another word for distress is dis-ease. Take the hyphen out, disease. Ooh. Words are powerful and your mind is listening. So if you look at that from a pure physiological point of view, is that, I don't know if I've got it here. Let me see if I can find my, I don't know if I've got my, no, I haven't. I can't find my, oh, here we go. So if we look at this is a Chinese finger trap. Okay, so this is mental health. So if I'm trapped in my mental health issues, what I want to do is I want to get away from it, right? I want to pull away from that darkness. But I'm trapped. I can't. The more I pull away, the more stuck I become. However, when I lean into it and I let it be, and I notice it, I can then release myself. And there's a great lady called Dr. Susan David, PhD, and she says this, and I'll leave everybody with this comment, is if ever you feel anxious, if ever you feel that overwhelm is coming, all you need to do is to do this. Imagine that overwhelm is like a cloud. And you say, I'm noticing the cloud. I'm not the cloud. I'm noticing the anxiety, not I'm noticing my anxiety. It's not your anxiety. Just changing my to the changes everything. I'm noticing the anxiety. I'm noticing the difference. I'm noticing the overwhelm. I'm noticing the cloud. And even when you're happy, I'm noticing the sun. I'm noticing I'm happy. And notice how your body reacts. But notice that you're not the cloud. You're not the sun, you're the sky. And you can create the feelings that you have inside. You are the creator. You're Jesus. Was Jesus there in your mind? Yeah, right? Who's to say it wasn't Jesus?
How cliche is that? How cliche is that?
I know, it is cliched, right?
Like, what?
But my point is who's to say what you saw, what you experienced? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But going back to the start of the conversation, if you were to have that conversation with somebody and you have that experience and that wholeness, and you connect with source like that, and people go, you're a weirdo, judgment.
Yeah. You
lock it inside, shame and guilt, and then you have to try and validate it and say, no, this is what I did. But what if we could give everybody that experience? How much better would the world be? How much little illness would there be? There wouldn't, right? And for me, that's what it's all about. It's all about not saying that one therapy or one technique is better than the other, but it's coming together and going, let's do something that's going to move people towards happiness and not fear.
Yeah.
Because that's where we are at the moment. And that is what my Stepping Out of the Valley course is about on the 13th. That's when that starts. And this is what I'm teaching people, is this stuff is to step into fear, because fear isn't bad. Fear is just understanding, why do I feel judged? Why do I feel shame? Why do I feel guilt? Why do I need to validate myself? And once you understand that, you can go, okay, I now feel brave enough to take action. I'm now going to choose to change my life. I'm now going to trust the process, and I'm going to step forward. Yeah. But to do that on your own is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
And that's why when I left the police, well, actually, not when I left the police, before then, when I had the experience that you've just had, the first time that I had that experience, I made a vow to help anybody who wanted to understand how to heal themselves.
Yeah.
That's why I can help get rid of PTSD in one session. I can help people stop smoking in one session. So when you say it costs money, it doesn't. I think it costs the NHS for about 25 rounds of PTSD treatment is about $6,500. I can do that for 10% of that cost. So actually, when you start to understand this stuff and you start to, it's actually quicker, more cost effective.
If it's worth it to you, it's cheap, isn't it? If it's worth it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. But
and
you need to, I think you need to be in the place to accept that that is your next step.
Yeah. And that's what this masterclass is about tonight. It's to try and open people up to the possibility of what might be different.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna end this masterclass, but I'm gonna say thank you very much, Angela, for being here. It's such a shame that people can actually get on the masterclass. But I'm going to repost this. If anybody's watching this, I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'll put it on Facebook. I'll put it all over the place. Please comment. If you want to know more, please get in touch. But the 13th, so that's 2 weeks, isn't it? 2 weeks Sunday. And we start my Stepping Out of the Valley. I'm probably going to do another one of these next week at some point, seeing as though this one went like a car crash. But if we look at it, right, it happened for a reason, right? It was just me and you on this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Angela, keep in touch. Tell me how you got on. And
I've got loads more to tell you. I need to write it all down.
Write it all down.
There was a lot.
Get in touch with me. And what I'd ask is, anybody who's watching this, anybody who knows somebody who might get benefit from what I've just done and all the stuff I do, please let them know that I'm here, because I'm here to serve people. I'm here to help people. And if you are stuck, if you're stuck in that valley, then get in touch. I'm here to help. So thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
And with that, I'm gonna stop the live. So thank you everybody for watching on Facebook.